been an interesting week here. The major like podcast platforms are letting their listeners know what their top or their most listened to stuff was. Like sometimes I've gotten that from Spotify before. Like here's what our top playlists were, or the songs that we listened to.
Spotify Wrapped season.
Is that what they're calling it?
Oh yeah,
It's the Spotify Wrapped. Yeah.
So I don't listen to podcasts. I don't consume podcasts through Spotify. I do it through Apple, and I've seen them put this stuff out too before. But with the feedback that I got was, number one, first people were like snapshotting that or screenshotting it and posting it and tagging us in it, which I thought was really cool and I really appreciated. And the point of that is the podcast game is interesting. It's kind of a lonely, weird, mysterious world in a lot of ways. Gaining metrics and understanding like who's listening, what are they listening to. There's things you can do. Like YouTube's a better platform for that, and kind of understanding like demographics, how long people are listening. It gives you all kinds of feedback. But when you're looking at, we use a distribution platform. I'll give it a plug because I think they do a pretty good job. It's called Buzzsprout. So for anybody that's out there, thinking about doing a podcast or doing it, I like that platform. I think they do a pretty good job, and they do provide some stats, but they're very limited. And when I say stats, like how many listens did you get, and what platforms were they on? Were they listening from? That's kind of what you get. That's it.
Yeah.
So unless you get direct feedback from listeners, you don't really know, how much of this stuff really reaches people. How much
and the
of it
depth of the engagement versus just flipping it on,
right? Turning it on, and how long? Again, how long did they listen to it? And that becomes important, like on platforms like Apple and Spotify, or YouTube, because their goal is to keep you on the channel as long as they can. So if you're one of those podcasts or, again, influencers, whatever, that gets people on and gets them engaged, they're going to favor your stuff. But the point of that being is I received some really interesting feedback of how some of the conversations that we have on all ends of the podcast, with all the different types of episodes that we drop, whether it's this type with this crew or what I'm doing on the After Dark side or what I do with the Inextremis Performance crew, during the week, that people were sending me actually screenshots of these group conversations that they are having about the discussions that maybe I've engaged in somebody's post.